But let's get straight to our top story tonight. 24 hours after Anna Hazare suddenly announced that he's disbanding Team Anna, its erstwhile members, who are usually more than happy to speak to the media, have gone completely silent. None of them were willing to comment today on Anna's decision, which he made public on his blog. In that blog, he was also very clear that he had serious reservations about moving into politics. Serious differences over this, sources say, is what led to the end of the team that has dominated headlines for more than a year. Anchal Vora has more on that story now. Anchal, no comments, of course, from the team on the record, but obviously very serious differences behind the scenes that have led to this. What happens next?
Nidhi, Team Anna has had 22 members in its core committee, and most of these members were not informed by some of these top members that they are going to go political, and these members were not informed that Anna Hazare would suddenly disband the team. So that, of course, has led to a lot of problems in the team. Nobody's talking to another one. Most members are unhappy with this decision. Now, what happens next is, we do know that some of the key erstwhile Team Anna members are having consultations, in fact regular meetings, on what shape would this party finally take, what would it be called, what's going to be the code of conduct, what's going to be the constitution of this party. And one important thing, Nidhi, is that their first test would have been the elections which are upcoming in Gujarat and Karnataka. Now, we've heard from very credible sources in erstwhile Team Anna that they would not be contesting these elections, and perhaps the first election they would contest would be the Delhi elections in 2013. So right now consultations are on, but what role Anna Hazare is going to play is another important question. Now, we met Anna Hazare yesterday and also credible sources in Team Anna today. Anna's role is going to be very limited. He's going to be more like an ideologue. He would have a certain moral authority, but it's not going to be an active role, nothing like he played when they were fighting for Jan Lokpal Bill. And we've also found out that they're also trying to mend fences with people like Santosh Hegde. Now, Santosh Hegde played a very important role in Jan Lokpal Bill, and they're now trying to mend fences because he clearly has not been happy with Team's sudden decision to go political. They also would like him to have some kind of a moral authority, but at this moment Team Anna is really having consultations every day to find out what should they be called next and what their constitution and ideology is going to be. Nidhi?
Alright, Anchal Vora, thanks very much for that. That brings us to our first debate tonight. As Anna Hazare disbands Team Anna, is this the end of the self-proclaimed revolution that they have been talking about as recently as a few days ago? Joining us tonight on the program, we're very happy to have with us Mr. Anna Hazare, who's the founder of Infosys and one of the country's most eminent citizens, someone who supported the goals that Team Anna had made public last year to bring the Prime Minister and the judiciary under Lokpal. It'll be interesting, Mr. Murthy, to see what your views are today on the direction this movement has headed in. We have social activist Medha Patkar, who's been closely associated with Team Anna but has made very public her disappointment with the decision for them to go political. From the BJP, its National Executive Member, Mr. Nalin Kohli. In the studio here with us, Professor Anand Kumar from JNU. Also with us tonight, we have Mr. Kumar Ketkar, Senior Editor, who joins us from Mumbai. Let me ask you, Mr. Narayan Murthy, what are your feelings today on where the Anna movement stands? Because last year, you did feel that their goals were right, you supported them. What do you feel today now that the team is disbanded and seems to have completely lost its way?
Well, I think any right-meaning citizen would want the corruption to come back, and therefore any movement that will fight corruption will have to be welcomed by any Indian who is patriotic. There is no doubt about it. To that extent, obviously, the lack of success of Anna's movement is, of course, somewhat of a concern, somewhat of a disappointment. But the positive side is that they have realized that in a democracy, election is the best way, and for an election to be a useful instrument, you need a political party, and therefore they are forming a political party. It's the right of any set of individuals to come together and advance their political agenda through a political party. So I suppose that's what they are doing.
But do you think that they lost their focus along the way? What do you think went wrong over the last year or so? It's something we've analyzed again and again. But do you think that they just focused on too many things? Is it going to be easy to go down the political road?
Well, right from the beginning, I have always said that we must all follow the dictum, you can disagree with me as long as you are not disagreeable. Somehow I was not happy with the aggressive stance by some of the members. You can differ from an individual, but you have to be very polite, you have to be very considerate, you have to be very civilized. And I think somehow that did not happen. That's all what I can say about the movement.
Can I ask you what you mean specifically by that? Do you think it became a rather undemocratic movement, in a democracy like ours? And what do you think their political future will be, especially without Anna Hazare?
No. Well, we have to be very polite in our words. We have to be very considerate. We have to disagree with individuals without being disagreeable. And I think these are some of the things that perhaps some of us did not find happening. So,
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for Retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.